Back to leadership, folks, and I'd like to say, first of all, there's too many aspects of leaderships to go into on this call. But there are some aspects that I'd like to talk about that I'm actually honored to be able to talk about when Paul asked me to do that. And it's going to be shared with you in the form of a kind of a funny story. This story was shared with me about 20 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And ever since then, I've been paying it forward and also living by the principles that the story conveys. You know, as a leader, a couple of the important aspects of leadership is who do you work with? If you have, say, a network marketing company, for example, there are so many different types of personalities, and there's only so much time in a day. What happens as your business grows is that you need to, as a leader, make a decision as to where you're able to spend your time. And also, how do you respond to the different personalities that there are out there? So those are kind of the two principles that I'd like to share with you in a story. How do you respond to the different personalities, and where do you spend your time? Well, the best story that I've heard about that is really a quite simple one, and it's called Turkeys, Chickens, and Eagles. And I was able to share this story in Denver a little over a week ago, and so I'm happy to share it with you. You know, there's three types of people in this world: turkeys, chickens, and eagles. And so let's talk about the first categories, like turkeys, right? And we mean this lightly, okay? We're not judging people, but in order to disseminate where we spend our time and how we handle the different personalities, I just like to categorize it like this. A turkey is somebody that says, network marketing? Gobble, gobble, gobble. Yeah, I had a brother-in-law in that. That doesn't work. You encounter turkeys all the time. Oh, that's a scam, gobble, gobble. Frankly, people have been scammed in the past, and of course, but the problem is that the media and friends and families, and they all concentrate on the negatives, and so, that thing just doesn't work. I tried doing that. I tried getting all kinds of people in. It just doesn't work, gobble, gobble. Turkeys are everywhere, and you have to deal with them on a daily basis if you're really committed to your business. So what do? How do you handle the personality of a turkey? Well, frankly, you want to avoid the negatives in your life as much as possible. So what you do is you forget the turkeys, okay? Just forget the turkeys. They're going to be out there, and, you're going to encounter them. And it's not what happens to you in life. It's how you respond to what happens to you in life that matters. So they're not rejecting you personally. They're just, rejecting the opportunity. Okay, so just keep that in mind and forget the turkeys. Now, let's talk about the next category, chickens. Most of your group, most of your organization is going to be comprised of chickens. Now, you need to understand this. Now, chickens kind of poke around and peck around. They don't do really much except cluck and eat, and lots of clucking. But a chicken chickens put food on your table, folks, because again, most of your organization will be comprised of chickens. Now, if you try to work with a chicken, here's what the problem a lot of people do that don't understand how to interact with the different personalities in the business and where to spend their time. Many people are wasting time trying to spend it with chickens. In other words, they pick up the chicken and they go, fly, chicken, fly, and the chicken goes, bark, 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 and it falls to the ground. Because chickens just don't fly, folks. They just don't. And, you can yell, I know a chicken that flies. Well, good for you if they're not going to fly for very long, but people still insist. I have so many people in my organization, I need to work on them. Come on, chicken. And they pick them up and they say, come on, fly, chicken, fly, and bark, 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 and it falls down to the ground. If you keep doing that, folks, with the chickens, they might poop on you. So, don't try to turn a chicken into something they're not, okay? A chicken is a chicken is a chicken. But the point is, though, how do you work with chickens? What do you do with most of your organization? Well, there's 4 words that I like to use, and it's love them. They'll grow. okay? Because you never know, they may go through a metamorphosis. Chickens put food on the table, so love them, okay? Treat them with the love and the respect that they deserve, because you never know. Because the last group are the eagles. Now, a chicken could metamorphosize, if that's a word, into an eagle, but eagles are rare, okay? Those are the people that come in to join you in business, and they are constantly asking really great questions with respect to how do I build my business? What do I do to make this happen? What are the income-producing activities that I need to do? You know what's great? You might have heard this term before. The cream rises to the top. So you don't have to make someone or try to throw a chicken up in the air to make them fly. The leaders, the eagles, they make themselves known. It's quite obvious when you have an eagle. And again, they are rare. Don't bring in 10 people and say, I got 5 eagles, because that's not the case. Usually maybe about 1 out of 5 or 6, or maybe even 1 out of 10 will be an eagle. But the eagles will display themselves, and so those are the people, with respect to personalities, who do you work with? How do you respond to that? Those are the people that the leaders spend their time with. Okay? Why? Well, because they're worthy. They probably buy all the products that the company offers. They attend all the functions. They stay plugged into the system. They're constantly asking questions. Well, chickens ask questions too, but the eagles take action. Okay? Eagles understand that when they take action and they make mistakes, that they need to learn from those mistakes and press on and move onward. Leaders, I keep saying both because that's what they are, or leaders in the making. They're constantly talking about what they would love to accomplish, but more importantly, why they want to accomplish it. Eagles are rare. So when it comes to time, because as your organization grows, you will have so many people, and you're wondering, who do I spend my time with? You want to spend it with everyone. I made that mistake in the past. I started throwing chickens up in the air, and it just didn't work. But those are the ones that you work with, folks, okay? And if it takes bringing in 5 or 10 people before that happens, then so be it, because it's worth it. And the eagles are great, because you deserve to have eagles in your organization. Everyone on this call does, because I know that everyone here has a solid work ethic, and I'd be willing to bet that the majority of the people on this call are eagles, or they're chickens who are going through a metamorphosis.